I'm Alice Morrison, an adventurer and writer, and I'm on a journey across Azerbaijan to discover its natural wonders and to meet its people. If this works, it's going to be very, very cool.
Modern Baku, built largely on oil, is the site of COP29, the global climate conference. Azerbaijan itself is a microcosm of the world's climate. Within this small country, you can find an incredible 4 out of the 5 global climate zones.
It's got everything from burning deserts to freezing polar mountaintops. It's my first time here, and I want to take in as much of it as possible. I think travel is all about going off the beaten track, and for me especially about seeing a country through the eyes of the women who live there. I'm also obsessed with the natural world, and so for my ultimate trip to Azerbaijan,
I'm off to see how the majestic bison is being reintroduced to the Caucasus.
Right?
Yes, I can see it in the woods. Can we get closer?
I'm going to discover Azerbaijan's silk heritage and how it transformed the country.
Spectacular. Oh my goodness.
Here came merchants from all over the world, and they brought here their art, their culture.
And I'll meet a female photographer who is smashing stereotypes.
I understand that I could see a person and speak about their stories.
Join me for Ultimate Azerbaijan.
When people think of Azerbaijan, they often think of Baku, a bustling city with a deep history and impressive architecture. But a map of Azerbaijan shows the true variety of landscapes in this small country. It has 4 out of the world's 5 global climate zones within its borders.
I'm just outside Baku, in my home environment of the desert. Somewhere over there are the Caucasus Mountains, cold tundra. In the winter, the mountain passes are inaccessible because of heavy snowfall. Then to the south is a temperate climate, hot, humid summers and cool winters. But I'm heading to the forest, to the continental climate zone.
Here, trees cover the landscape and provide a perfect environment for wildlife. Throughout human history, bison were a common sight in Europe, especially in these mountain ranges. But by 1927, they'd been wiped out by hunting and habitat destruction. However, hope is on the horizon. Since 2019, a World Wildlife Fund project has been working to bring the bison back.
Hello, so nice to meet
Zeynep
you.
Sayedova is overseeing the Azerbaijan side of this huge international effort. I'm hoping she'll help me see European bison in the wild. That is, if we can find them.
So is it these yellow blobs that are the animals?
Yes, to reach there we have to go 2 days.
2 days?
Exactly. They are already in the alpine meadows in the park.
It's great that the bison are roaming so widely, though sadly I don't have the 2 days that it would take to reach them.
And this is the
But Zeynep has had a tip-off that there might be an untagged group closer, although it'll require some heavy-duty transport to get there.
The only way to get there is in this 6-wheel drive ex-Soviet truck. Now, don't be alarmed. They've made it fully luxurious. In the back there where I'll be sitting, they've got hay bales and blankets, which is lucky because it's a 2-hour drive.
The bison we're hoping to see are in fact an even greater sign of the project's success. This is a truly wild group moving freely across this vast area. It's all the result of an ambitious international project. 10 animals a year are reared in Berlin before being flown here. Then they're gradually introduced to this part of the Caucasus, an area chosen for its near-perfect climate, habitat and natural protection. But the true test will be if they can survive here in decent numbers, entirely self-sustained. The truck can only get us so far, and we need to complete the journey to where Zeynep thinks the wild bison might be, on foot.
This is a brilliant mini adventure, and I've been told that the bison are just up ahead somewhere over there. Why have we stopped? Why have we stopped?
Because there's a bison, right?
I can see it in the woods. Oh, look.
Yeah, see, they are going up.
Can we get closer? Oh, he's looking right at us. This is such a special moment. A huge wild male bison looking straight at us through the forest. After being extinct and now they've been brought back to life.
Yeah.
What a privilege.
Yeah, we have mixed group here, 26 animals, cows, some bulls, new babies.
Baby bison.
Exactly. This is our feeding station in the national park.
Yeah.
Only we feed the animals in winter, but sometimes we provide here some salt lick places.
Well, I feel very lucky.
Yeah, you are lucky.
I'm really lucky.
You are lucky.
It's amazing being able to see these beautiful creatures, but this project will only be a success if they can survive in the wild.
Are you pleased with the health of the animals?
As you see that they are really in a good shape. In the beginning, they didn't look real well, but as the time goes, we see that they are really well adapted. You can see that from the fur, this is really shining and their shape is really good. Based on this year's monitoring, we have 10 calves born in National Park. This is already big success, I would say. Shahdar National Park can harbor almost 400 animals here, and we would like to have them really wild without any intervention from the human being.
What a glorious day, walking through these woods, learning about this incredible international project to reintroduce bison into the wild, and then seeing a whole family with their babies. The return of bison to Azerbaijan is a reminder of what this country would have looked like hundreds of years ago. It connects us to the past, and we can't talk about history here without talking about the Silk Roads.
Next, I'm heading to Sheki, a town on the way to Tbilisi in Georgia. And this was part of one of the most important trade routes in history, the Silk Road.
I'm meeting local guide Zemine, who's been proudly showing travellers round here for 20 years. First, though, she wants me to see a key ingredient in what made Sheki a major player in the international silk trade, the mulberry tree.
So without mulberry leaves, no silk.
Why are the leaves important?
Because the silk worms eat mulberry leaves, not other leaves.
Only mulberry leaves?
Mulberry leaves. And we have a lot of mulberry trees because of the climate.
Mulberry trees thrived here and led to a local silk trade, which in turn led to great prosperity and influence, perfectly demonstrated by the nearby Khan's palace.
So spectacular. Oh my goodness. Zemine, this palace is so opulent. How was it built?
Our city is on the Silk Road, and the owner of the palace was a ruler of the region. He was very rich because of the trade, because of the silkworm breeding.
Built in the 1700s, the Khan's palace was the seat of power for the hereditary rulers of Sheki. They governed the region under the influence of Persia.
Trade had a great influence on building of this palace because here came merchants from all over the world, and they brought here not only goods for selling, they brought here their art, their architecture, their culture.
The Khans grew wealthy from selling local silk. To show off this wealth, the palace was built from the finest materials from all over the world.
This part of the building is called Shabaka window. The glass of the window comes from Italy. Italian, Venetian merchants brought here glass and changed them for local Sheki silk. And Venetian glass is as thin as Sheki silk. It's just 1 millimeter. In each square meter of the windows, there are 5,000 pieces of wood and glass.
And it's lasted for centuries.
Yes, of course.
My eye has been caught by this beautiful pattern. It looks very familiar to me as a Scots person.
You are right, there is a connection with Scotland because this pattern in Azerbaijan represents silkworm. That's why all the silk scarves, silk carpets are decorated with this pattern. And in Scotland, in Paisley town, they began to produce silk materials with the same patterns. That's why this pattern is known in Europe as Paisley pattern.
It is. I'm from Scotland, so
Yeah.
this is from my country.
Yeah.
How fantastic.
It's been fascinating discovering how silk could lead to such wealth and international influence. And it's really exciting that much of what made the trade possible is still here today. This is a caravanserai, dating from around the 18th century.
Merchants needed somewhere safe and secure against violence, against theft, and against the weather. And look at the size of these doors. You couldn't be safer. This door's got 2 knockers. Listen. According to the sound they made, they could send a man or a woman to meet the guest. Because, of course, in that Islamic society, the roles were very defined. It was very gendered.
The network of these lodgings was vital to the success of the Silk Road. So important was Sheki that at its height, it had 5 caravanserai.
Ooh. Well, this is surprising. I've been to lots of caravanserai, but this is on an industrial scale. It's absolutely enormous. They must have had hundreds of people here and hundreds of animals. It's almost like a palace. There's something also very pleasing. If you think you've been through the chaos of walking over mountain passes and perhaps being attacked by bandits, and suddenly you're in this oasis of peace, of calm, of symmetry, which naturally makes you feel more relaxed and you would need to rest. In its heyday, this magnificent caravanserai would have been rammed with people, noise, bustle, smells, merchants from all over the world trading their goods, people sharing stories and trying to outdo each other with travellers' tales. There would have been oil from Persia and coins from China, and of course the silk, which came from here and was carried right across the continent.
Today, silk production in Sheki is still a major part of the economy. And just outside of the town is a silk weaving factory. Built in 1931 during the Soviet Union, it's a mix of modern and heritage machinery. In peak season, every loom is working. But in the winter months, production is smaller, working on specialist products like silk sheets.
So here's the actual silk. This is a bale that's been produced, and it's surprisingly hard. It doesn't feel lovely and soft as you'd imagine. It's still got to be washed and treated. But also I found out that one cocoon spins 800 meters of thread. Silk, that beautiful, luxurious material, comes from this exciting but really harsh environment. The 3 women I met have worked here for over 100 years between them, and they're so proud of what they produce. They're still part of that silk trade, which made this city what it is.
Silk production doesn't end at weaving. About an hour down the road is a town which is famous for making a traditional female headscarf, which is unique to Azerbaijan.
Well, I'm Rena.
Rena, nice to meet you.
welcome.
Thank you.
Rena Ibragimbekova is an expert in its history.
This is a kalagayi,
Uh-huh.
and this is very ancient items in Azerbaijan. This is item for Azerbaijani women. This is a part of the national dress of Azerbaijani women. Very important. It is part of social life of these people everywhere in Azerbaijan.
Under Soviet rule, the kalagai was restricted because it was associated with religious headscarves. But after the USSR collapsed, Rena helped restore the tradition. She hunted around the country and found a few craftsmen who could remember the techniques. And 30 years later, it's still going strong. The silk is first decorated with the bucha pattern and then dyed using naturally sourced colours. The silk has to be dipped and dyed in the correct order, a secret process known only to the male dyers.
But there's also a local belief that the scarf may have mystical properties, even helping women to have children.
I know a story, they told me 10 years they have the problem and nobody can help them. One old woman said, put on your body this red kalagayi. After 1 year, you will have child. And she said me that, you know, I used this after 1 year, I born my first child. It is difficult to believe to them, you know, but it is a fact.
What does this mean to you?
It is you on the universe. This is a magic system of design. I think it is very important.
I love Rena's ideas about the mystical power of these scarves, and I couldn't pass up the opportunity to weave some magic of my own.
Right, I'm ready. Got to be a bit more industrial and a bit harder, apparently. What? Yes? Look at the difference between his and mine.
To see the process from silk road to silk scarf, the care and craft over centuries, combined with the natural environment which led to this piece of art, really makes me appreciate silk's unique and lasting impact on this area.
Obviously, I can't leave that one. It was a really difficult choice, but this is the one I love and I'm taking home with me. Yes?
This experience has inspired me to explore Azerbaijani culture even further. So I'm heading down to the town of Lankaran on the coast to meet a young female photographer who can show me her culture through a different lens. But on the way, I'm taking a quick diversion to investigate a natural wonder.
We've had a long day on the road. What a perfect time for a bit of a spa. These hot springs bubble out from the underwater resources. I can smell the sulfur.
Here in the south, water is heated by the Earth's crust and then bubbles up between rocks, creating natural hot springs.
It's really, really hot. Woo. It's actually boiling. Much hotter than I thought it would be. Hot springs are so special. In the days you didn't have hot water, you didn't have hot showers, you didn't have hot baths. And here you can come and get really clean and relax your muscles and heal any little cuts and bruises. They're nature's wonder.
And I've been told there is even more wonder to be had.
There's a little bit of magic about to happen. If this works, it's going to be very, very cool, so stay with me. Here we go. Told you it was magic. I think this might be the coolest thing I've ever done.
It's on to Lankaran and Lali Binyatova, a young photographer who I've wanted to meet ever since coming across her work online. She's become an international success with her beautifully observed images of Azerbaijani culture and people.
So nice to see you. After following you on Instagram for so long. How did you begin photographing?
I began it from my school when my father gifted me a new phone, and then I began to shoot something which I like flowers, and then my father gave me a new camera, and after this I began to do more pictures of people. It was something different for me because then I could see a person, and I understand that I also can speak about their stories, and for me is this reason why I do it.
Lali's dad's gift of a camera would be something she would use to explore her relationship with him after he passed away. While in his tiny home village for the funeral, she found herself seeing the place through his eyes.
What did it mean to you to take photos of your father's village?
It was a very hard period of my life, and I didn't know what I can do, and I understand that I don't know my father good. And when I began to shoot, I understand that it only can help me to understand my father, why he loves these places.
You feel a closer connection when you're looking
Yes,
through the lens?
It's helped me. I don't know why, but it's better to understand, to feel it more.
Lally has offered to take to the streets to show me how she makes such compelling images.
It's like playing,
Oh, I
You
like
play.
it.
You play.
I like it. It's a game.
Yes, it's great.
Okay.
Just time to brush up on my Azeri.
Check him. It's shoot.
Check him. Okay. Olan sizin. Check Lindsay. Check him.
Yep.
I'm ready.
Aranızda böyle. Aranızda böyle.
So I filmed lots of guys, and they're all like, no problem, no problem. But I can't get any women.
When I want to shoot some woman, then I told that you can don't see it,
Oh yeah, from the sides. I've got you.
and they okay with it. Hello. Bakabilirsiniz bak.
Masterclass complete. It's time to compare notes.
What about your experience?
So I found it really difficult, especially with the women, but I managed to get the young bookseller. I couldn't show her face, but I can show her hands and her beautiful manicure. Oh, I love that one.
I know,
Yeah, she
but
was so
also
cool.
the-
Yeah, you're really clever. You told me to find a different way with women, and I think this was really a great idea.
We also can use their word. We can understand who is she, what
Yeah.
she do.
Yeah, I think that's my favorite. Thank you for the day. It's been so fantastic.
It's been quite a journey.
I didn't know what to expect from Azerbaijan, but I found a country that's richly diverse. Not only the people and the landscapes, but also the experiences.
My journey has taken me across rivers and deserts, seeing silk and sulphurous hot springs, discovering a side of the country and its people that you'd miss by staying in the big city. So along with some great photos, that's what I'll take away. Beautiful memories of a truly ultimate travel experience.
So Azerbaijan, thank you. Çok sağ ol.